Rocketman stars Taron Egerton and is the newest biopic of rock legend Elton John. We see in this movie Elton John's child life, how he learned how to play the piano, and how he became one of rock and roll's greatest musicians of all time. I was nervous for this movie because I wasn't a huge fan of the trailers and the TV spots that they put out. It looked like it was going to be a by the standards rock biopic. And also I wasn't a huge fan of Bohemian Rhapsody, and I thought that this one was going to end up the same way as Bohemian Rhapsody did. But once they started releasing the songs for the movie that Taron Egerton recorded himself, I started to get a little bit more excited. And a lot of people are going to compare this movie to Bohemian Rhapsody since a lot of people loved Bohemian Rhapsody. They're going to be asking, is this movie better than that one? I'm not going to be comparing it a whole lot in this review. I mainly just want to focus on this movie alone. The only thing I'm going to say comparing the two was that this movie, Rocketman, is exactly what I wanted Bohemian Rhapsody to be. I absolutely loved Rocketman. It was such a great movie and such a big surprise because honestly, I didn't think the movie was going to be good. It just shows that trailers don't really mean anything. They're just a means to show you what is about to come out and hopefully get you excited about the movie. You're not supposed to make up your opinion about the movie just on the trailer. And in this case, I didn't like the trailers and I ended up loving the movie. There's so much to love in this movie and so much that I had a great time watching. For the first thing though, there's a lot of energy in this movie. This movie is constantly moving from one thing to another and it just doesn't stop. So it is quite fast paced, and that's something that I did not expect. I thought this was going to be a by the numbers rock and roll biopic, and in some degree it is. You know, honestly, you can't really escape that in this movie. You know, there's certain things that were predictable, like when certain things would happen, I kind of said to myself, okay, this is going to happen or this is going to happen, and sure enough, immediately it happened. So I guess one negative I could say about the movie is that some stuff is predictable from what we've seen in other rock and roll biopics. And Taron Egerton gives an amazing performance in this movie. I've been a fan of him for many years now, but I didn't know he had this in him. It was absolutely incredible. He did all of his own singing. His performance is emotional, funny, raw, real. You can feel how real it is through his performance, and that's something that I absolutely loved about it, and this man deserves an Oscar for his performance. And another thing I loved about this movie is it didn't play it safe. It was raw. It actually showed you things that you could look at and say, wow, that person's an asshole, or wow, Elton John was an asshole. I can't believe they did that. You know, they didn't hold back on this movie, and I'm glad that they actually showed what actually happened. You know, they didn't play it safe or didn't want to offend anybody, so let's take this out of the movie. Obviously, there's stuff in his life that they didn't put in the movie for one reason or another, but honestly, you get the sense of what his life was like when he was going through all this rock and roll stuff just by the raw performances and the fact that the filmmakers didn't hold back on this. They went balls to the wall, and I'm glad it was rated R. Honestly, rock and roll biopics, I feel at least, should be rated R because everyone looks at these rock and roll biopics that are like PG-13 or whatever, and it's like, that's not fully what happened. Honestly, if it's PG-13, they're probably holding something back. And you know, these rock and roll musicians, they went through a lot of shit. They went through a lot of personal stuff that is not suitable for like a PG-13 audience. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Now, I'm not a fan of musicals. If you know me personally, I'm not really a big musical fan. The only musical I've really liked is the original Willy Wonka movie. And this movie is considered a musical because there's musical numbers that take place. Sometimes characters will be doing something in the movie and then bam, they would go into a musical number. But for me in this movie, it worked. I can't really explain why, because it's a very typical musical thing that they do in this movie. But for some reason, it worked in this movie for me. I don't know what it was. So this movie, even though it's a musical, it made me appreciate it and love it. So good job on that. So with Taron Egerton's amazing performance, as well as everyone else in the movie, a script that didn't hold back, that actually went for it, and with amazing music in this movie, easily make Rocketman one of the best films of the year, as well as one of my personal favorites. I love this movie so much. I can't wait to see it again. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but Rocketman is Oscar worthy. I didn't think I would say that considering I didn't like the trailer, so I thought this movie was going to be terrible. But it proved me wrong. I loved it, and I can't wait to watch it again. So when you guys see Rocketman, let me know what you thought about it in the comment section, and what are you hoping for the next rock and roll biopic, or musical biopic, whatever you want to call it. I still want to see a proper Beatles one. There's been countless made-for-TV ones, but I want to see a proper big-screen adaptation of the Beatles that's true to what actually happened with them. That's what I want to see next. So whatever your thoughts on all that is, let me know in the comment section. And as always, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, click right here, and I'll see you guys next time.